Hi everyone, it's me. Welcome to the October TBR video. Yes, if you've noticed, I look a lot more fabulous than I normally do right now because I just got my hair done and I got this nice big fancy blowout, and there's no way I'd be able to do this by myself. I'm just incapable, so we're making use of it, and I decided to just film a video today because I look fabulous. Anyways, yeah, we are going to be picking my October TBR. I've got my TBR prompt jar here to help us out. We're going to pick 5 books. That's the amount I picked for my September TBR, and I think it's just the perfect amount of books for a monthly TBR list where it still gives me enough freedom to like have space to choose other books to read for specifically themed reading vlogs, and then also gives me like a tiny bit of freedom to also mood read if I like look at my TBR and I'm like, I'm not in the mood for either of those. It gives me enough space to like alternate between like TBR books and just like immediate books that I want to read. So yeah, I think 5 is the sweet spot. I'm gonna do 5 again for my October TBR. Hopefully we get some like cozy spooky books because as we head into October, it's gonna start being spooky season. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's just get straight into it. I'm gonna mix up my little prompts here. Let's do a full like upside down shake. First prompt. I feel like this is not spooky at all, but if you can read my chicken scratch writing, it says flowers on cover. Flowers on cover, okay. I feel like a lot of books have flowers on the cover, like this has a lot of flowers. This has flowers. Oh, surprisingly no flowers. Okay, really, what does not have flowers? This has flowers. We're just gonna take every single book off of this. Are those flowers? I'm gonna take every single book off of my cart right now, finding all the ones with flowers. Lots of books with flowers. So we have A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. This one has flowers in that little kind of like Beauty and the Beast rose jar thing. Do you see? There's like flowers in there. So that's flowers on the cover. This is also on my fall TBR, like my general fall TBR. So I feel like this would be a good one to pick. Rule of the Aurora King. This is the second book of the, what is it called? Trial of the Sun Queen series. This one has kind of like gothic-y looking, like scary flowers there. I feel like this would be a good one to read too because I'm currently in the middle of 35 series right now. And I've just realized I need to like get a move on like completing or like at least getting further in some series, and I want to make like a series themed video, so this one might be good. Starling House, we have all kinds of these cute yellow flowers on here and lots of plants, and this was also on my fall TBR, like my general fall TBR, so also great. We have a Fire Endless, all of these flowers, and I just finished A River Enchanted for my September book club read, so I feel like it'd be good just like read the second one, get it done, get that duology finished while everything's fresh in my mind, so that's also a good one. We have this Woven Kingdom, which has all of these red flowers. I really want to get into this, but also, as I mentioned, I'm currently in the middle of 35 series, so I think before I start a new series, I need to like pick some off my list first, so I feel like this one's gonna be a no, but I really do want to read this as well. Kind of similar story, I have Daughter of the Moon Goddess. We have so many flowers on this cover, but again, I feel like I don't want to start another duology before I finish some. And then similarly, actually, I don't know if this is a series. It probably is, right? I know it's a spin-off of another type of a world, or like it's a spin-off set in the same world as another Carrie Maniscalco series or book. I don't know if this is actually a series or if it's a standalone by itself, but this has a lot of flowers as well. I feel like I'm gonna lean towards a no for this one for this month. I don't know if I want to get into a whole other like universe, you know what I mean? So these are my top picks for book with flower. This is such a hard decision, actually. This is really difficult. Okay, I think I'm gonna rule out Rule of the Aurora King for now. Maybe, so we're down to these 3. Oh my god, how the heck am I gonna choose? I wanna read all of them. I think we're gonna do A Fire Endless. I think. I just wanna like finish this duology, you know what I mean? Or do I want to read, I feel like I want to read Starling House by Alex E. Harrow because this book just screams October. We have a haunted house. It's like a gothic haunted house. We have like a missing person case. We have fantasy, we have gothic. It screams October. So I'm gonna do Starling House. I want to read the other ones. I'll likely read some of those other ones too in this month anyways, but this is gonna be on my like mandatory TBR, so Starling House. I don't know why that was so difficult. All of these are gonna go back. Book 2 is going to be, my voice just cracked, a question as the title. Okay, let's gather. Okay, I have 2 books that could be options for this one. I don't know if they're exactly questions because I don't have any books currently with like an actual question with a question mark as a title. I don't know if is that a thing? I'm trying to think if that's like an actual thing. If I have any books with like an actual question mark in the title. I don't think I do. But I feel like these 2 are like kind of question-y. They have like question type words in them, if you know what I mean. So the first one is what the river knows. Like this could kind of be a question, right? Like what does the river know? It's worded a little different, but I feel like it's a question enough. This is a book I've had for so long. If you guys have been with me for a while, you guys will know like when I started like BookTok, or not BookTok, BookTube, when I started BookTube, I already had this on my shelf. So I really feel like I need to get into this, but also as I mentioned just previously, I want to finish more series before I start new ones. So I think this is not the one for October. But the other book that I have that's kind of a question title is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nolan. I feel like I could get into this. It's kind of a standalone. I know there's another book that is like the same story from the other person's point of view, but I feel like it's not really a series. It's more of like a collection. This, I don't really know too much about the actual story, but from what I've heard, it's like a really, really emotional one. You'll feel like heartbroken. I think it's kind of sad, but it's like a love story as well. So yeah, I've been excited. I've been curious to get into this one because I always see a lot of people talking about it. So I'm gonna add this one. This is gonna be the choice for question as the title. Third book. I'm excited. Do you think I'll ever get the little blue prompt in there? I don't know if you can see it. It's like in the middle of the jar right now, but there's one blue prompt and I don't remember what it was, but it's the literal only blue one in here. Once I open it and like remember what it is, I'm always gonna know that that blue one is a specific thing. So I don't know how that's gonna work, but okay, book 3 is going to be a foiled cover. So this I think is gonna have to be some sort of a hardcover with like a foil design on the inside. That's exciting. I feel like a lot of foiled covers are gonna be series though. Okay, what's in here? Does a foiled spine count? Because I wanted to read Holly by Stephen King, or I wanted to read Stephen King in general in October, but this one only has foil on the spine, not on like the front cover. Oh, you know what? Does this count as foil? It's like kind of shiny in 3D. Is that foil? I feel like it is. That could be an option. I don't know if that's actually foil or not, but. Oh, is this what foiled means? Like it's got like the 3D. Hold on. You know what? I'm gonna look up what a foiled cover is. Okay, yeah, so yeah, apparently this type of like foily, shiny, stamped on thing on a jacket or a paperback is also foil, like technically a foiled cover. I was thinking more like this type of a foil, you know what I mean? Like in special editions and stuff, you'll see like a nice foiling under the dust jacket on a hardcover, but I think what I've selected is all foil as well. Oh, this has some nice foiling on it actually too. Okay, I think I have what I want here though. So a couple of the options that I picked with like foiled covers are, again, Throne of the Fallen. This book I feel like is just screaming for me to read it right now, but I don't want to get into another universe. I just keep procrastinating that one. We have The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. This also has some nice like shiny foiling on it, but again, like this is a whole full other world, and I've heard it's really good. I've heard this one is more sci-fi versus fantasy because yeah, it's set in 2059, which if you think about it is like not that far away, which is kind of insane to think about, but I've heard it's like really, really good. But it's also like an entire thing. I think there's like several books in this world, like more than 3, and I don't know if I can do that yet, even though I really want to read this because I did like the writing in Priory of the Orange Tree. I want to get into more Samantha Shannon, just don't know if I can right now because of all the series I'm in the middle of. So I'm gonna pick, I hate that this book has this sticker on it. Maybe I'll try and take it off, but I'm gonna pick Fairy Tale by Stephen King. This I feel like is perfect for October. It's spooky, it's kind of fantasy. It's gonna be my first Stephen King that I've ever read. And you guys told me that like out of Stephen King books, you feel that I would like this one because I'm like a fantasy girly and this has a lot of fantasy tie-in. So I'm gonna add this. It has This is the foiling on it. This one's about a teenage boy who has this like weird reclusive neighbor. The neighbor all of a sudden dies and leaves his house to the teenager, where the teenager then goes. He's like, why did I get this house? Finds a cassette tape. So creepy. He listens to the tape and then just like unravels this whole weird, crazy, horrific world. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Screams October. So happy to choose that one. I think it's pretty long. It's like 600 pages, I think, like 500, 600. Okay, we have 3. Let's do 2 more. A real person on the cover. Oh my gosh, that is funny. I personally do not like the aesthetic of a real person on the cover, so we'll see if I have any. Okay, you know what? I did find some people on covers. Okay, so the first one, I'm not gonna choose this one because it's Ellen Hilderbrand, Golden Girl. There are these real people running into the ocean, but like, I can't read this in October. Like, the season has passed for this book. This will need to wait until next summer because there's no way I can read like an Ellen Hilderbrand Nantucket summer novel in October. I just can't. As much as I love Ellen Hilderbrand, no, season for this is over. I'm gonna save this for the summer for when it'll be like the perfect vibes for it. Where was this? Why do I have no space to put this back? Huh? Maybe I'll put it in the back. And in the back, it will stay until next year. But the other one I found is actually perfect. I just received this book from the publisher, A Place to Hide by Ronald H. Balson. I've never read anything from this author before, but yeah, I received it as sort of an ARC copy. This one has these 2 real people on the cover. It looks like a mother and her daughter, possibly. This is a historical fiction. It is set in Washington, D.C. Does that look like Washington, D.C.? It looks more like European to me. Maybe they go to Europe, I don't know. But it is set in 1939. Oh, it is an American who's in Amsterdam. That's what it is. So we are set in Amsterdam, 1939, obviously in that World War II era. It's kind of like all I know about it. I don't want to read too much into it again because sometimes I like to go into books for the vibes and then just like figure out the plot as I read. But yeah, this is a World War II novel set in Amsterdam and it has real people on the cover. So A Place to Hide is my 4th book. For our last book, last but not least, this one just stuck to my hand, so it really wanted to be picked. The Longest series. You're joking. The Longest series. Can it be a series that I'm in the middle of? I hope the longest series that I have is a series that I'm in the middle of. What do I have? This is a trilogy, I think. So it's not that long. This is a duology. This is a duology with a prequel duology. This one I think has like 4 or 5 books. So potentially this. I think that's gonna be a trilogy. Throne of the Fallen, I don't know. Maybe I'll look into this. I'm gonna have to look into the Bone season. I feel like that's a long one for some reason. This is a trilogy. The Naturals, how long is The Naturals? I think the rest of these are standalones on my physical TBR, at least. I have a lot of Kindle TBR for series. Not gonna get into all of those. I'm gonna look up these 4 and see which one is the longest. So let's open Goodreads. This one has 4 plus a novella. I don't want to start a new series, guys. I don't. The Bone season has... Why do I feel like this is a super long series with like 8 books? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But only 4 are out so far, with the 5th one coming out in 2025. But there's gonna be 7 total with novellas. I don't want to get into this. I don't. Like, I do, but like, I'm not ready. You know what I mean? We don't know how long this series is gonna be, but it has 2 out so far, or the second one's coming out soon. So that's gonna be eliminated. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're joking. You're gonna make me read Bone season right now? I'm so scared. I'm literally scared. You're joking. This isn't real. The thing is, I'm probably gonna love this, but just the feeling of starting a whole other long series while I'm like in the middle of 35. Like, how am I gonna keep all these worlds straight in my head? I'm probably not. I've already probably like forgotten a lot of the worlds that I'm in the middle of and need refreshers for all of them. But I gotta stick to the prompt. And it's gonna be the bone season because there are 7 books in the series. Haven't I literally been saying this entire video, I don't want to start a new series? How did we get here? Sometimes the TBR jar is on your side and sometimes it's just not. It was somewhat on my side. I think a lot of the books we picked today were books that, you know, I was planning on reading this next month anyways, or like they just fit the vibe. But these are the 5 for my October TBR. We have The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, which is the first book in a 7-book sci-fi series. That was my longest series prompt. We have A Place to Hide by Ronald H. Balson, historical fiction. This was the real people in the cover prompt. Fairy Tale by Stephen King for the foiled cover. If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nolan for question as the title. And then Starling House by Alex E. Harrow for flowers on the cover. There we have it. That's my October TBR. I think this is looking pretty moody overall in general. And I honestly feel like sci-fi is good for October. It's just the whole series thing that's turning me off right now. But I think in general, this is a pretty good, like, moody October selection. So I'm honestly proud of ourselves. Just aesthetically too. I feel like these all look like October books. Like the color scheme. There we have it. That's my October TBR. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like and a comment. If you don't know what to comment down below, let me know what your October TBR looks like. If you like me, subscribe, do that bell thing, and I will see you in the next one.